The cameras flashed. The crowd froze. And just like that, well, Hollywood had a new obsession. Imagine the tension. You have a 19-year power marriage. One of the last true titan unions in the entertainment industry, just dissolving before our eyes. It's the kind of vacuum that nature abhors and that rumors rush to fill with the force of a hurricane.
Oh, absolutely. And usually in that vacuum, you get speculation, you get whispers. But this week, we didn't just get whispers. We got a headline that set the internet absolutely on fire.
We're talking about a report claiming that country superstar Keith Urban hadn't just moved on from Nicole Kidman, but had actually moved in with a 26-year-old rising star. It was the kind of story that makes you, drop your phone.
But then came the twist. Because just yesterday, that narrative hit a brick wall. A blunt, all-caps denial dropped on Instagram that changed the entire conversation.
Welcome to StarScope Report. Join Jordan and Jamie as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame. Today, we are unpacking the Keith Urban, Nicole Kidman, and Karley Scott Collins saga.
And honestly, this isn't just about a romance rumor. This deep dive is really about how we process celebrity breakups, the specific numbers hidden in divorce documents, and the dangerous line between mentorship and scandal in Nashville.
Okay, let's unpack this. We have to start with the rumor mill because this thing went from 0 to 60 in seconds. The headline from the Daily Mail and the Nightly was just explosive. Sources were alleging that Keith Urban, who was 58, had gotten serious with rising country singer Karley Scott Collins.
And Collins is 26. I mean, that age gap alone is enough to get the tabloids typing furiously.
Right.
But the kicker wasn't just that they were dating. The specific phrasing was that people believed they were even living together.
Which is a massive leap. Living together implies a level of domesticity that is wild for a guy who just finalized a divorce days ago. It implies shared keys, shared coffee makers, a shared life. So where did this come from? What was the so-called evidence?
Well, it's the classic case of proximity being mistaken for intimacy.
Yeah.
Collins was an opening act on Urban's 2025 High and Alive World Tour. So right off the bat, they are spending months in the same orbit, traveling the same roads, living in that high-pressure bubble of a world tour.
But it goes deeper than just touring. They collaborated on her music, specifically a track called Right One. And here's where it gets really interesting. I looked into the backstory of this song, and it's fascinating. Collins wrote Right One about a cheating ex-boyfriend. She wanted to write the kind of song he would hate to hear.
A revenge track.
Yeah.
That is the bread and butter of country music. If you aren't writing about a cheating ex, are you even in Nashville?
Fair point. But here's the detail that the rumors latched onto. Keith Urban liked the song so much that he didn't just say, good job. He FaceTimed her to send a guitar solo he recorded for it. And this wasn't just a quick strum. He put 4 overlapping guitar tracks on it.
Okay, I have to jump in here because this is where the civilian view and the musician view completely diverge.
Right.
To a gossip columnist, FaceTiming and 4 tracks sounds like obsession. It sounds like he's spending all night thinking about her.
It does. It sounds like effort. Massive effort.
It is effort, but it's professional effort. Keith is a guitar nerd. If he hears a sound in his head, he's going to layer 4 tracks to get that specific sonic texture. To a musician, that shows high professional respect. It shows he was invested in the song. But if you are looking for a scandal, you look at that effort and say, why is he working so hard for her?
It creates a narrative space. You have a 58-year-old legend FaceTiming a 26-year-old artist about overlapping guitar tracks. To a musician, that's work. To the internet, that's late-night calls, and I can't stop thinking about you.
Exactly. And then you add in what we call the 3 against 1 theory. This was the other pillar of the rumor that really gave it legs. Sources were claiming that Keith's daughters, Sunday and Faith, were publicly supporting Nicole Kidman specifically because of this new relationship.
Yes. The narrative was that the girls were linking arms against their dad. People were pointing out that the daughters were appearing on Nicole's social media way more often than usual. They were in Paris, they were in Sydney, they were doing a turkey trot on Thanksgiving. The source said, teen girls love their dads, so there's a reason they're making it 3 against 1.
It paints a very dramatic picture, doesn't it? The abandoned mother and the loyal daughters standing against the father who ran off with the young starlet. It's almost Shakespearean. It fits a script we all know.
It really does. But if you think this is just about a new girlfriend and emotional alliances, wait until you hear the specific numbers in the custody agreement. Because when we actually look at the legal docs, which we have, it paints a very different picture of what's happening behind closed doors.
That's the thing about divorce. The rumors are emotional, but the documents are factual. And in this case, the numbers dismantle a lot of the speculation about why the girls are with Nicole.
So let's pivot to the divorce itself. We need to establish the timeline because it moved incredibly fast. They separated in June 2025. Nicole filed on September 30th, 2025, citing irreconcilable differences. And by January 6, 2026, it was finalized.
That is exactly 3 months from filing to finalization. In the legal world, especially with a network this size, that is lightning speed. Experts call this private finality.
Private finality, what does that actually mean for
It
them?
means they worked everything out, the money, the kids, the houses, before they even walked into the courthouse. It was uncontested. It tells me that they prioritized speed and silence over fighting for every last dime. They likely had a watertight prenup, or they just decided that a public battle wasn't worth the cost to their reputations.
Which is so rare for Hollywood. Usually these things drag on for years. Think about Brangelina. That took, what, a decade? But let's talk money. Total assets were estimated at $282 million. That is a massive pie to slice up.
And here is the surprising part. The agreement says both of them waived spousal and child support.
Both of them. Even child support.
Both. And each pays their own legal fees. Effectively, the settlement was, you keep what you have, I keep what I have, and we walk away.
That is wild to me. Waiving support when there is nearly $300 million on the table, it sends a huge message. It says, I don't need your money, I just want out.
Precisely. It's a clean break strategy. It avoids years of forensic accounting and arguments over who earned what doing which tour. It's a business decision as much as a personal one. Nicole Kidman is a powerhouse. She doesn't need Keith's money to maintain the girl's lifestyle.
But here is the number that really stuck out to me, the custody split. This is the crucial detail that explains the 3-against-1 dynamic way better than any rumor could.
Right. The math here is stark. The agreement designates the primary residence with Nicole Kidman.
And when they say primary, they mean primary. The math works out to Nicole getting the kids 306 days a year. Keith gets them 59 days a year.
59 days. Let that sink in. That breaks down to roughly every other weekend, from Saturday at 10 a.m. to Sunday at 6 p.m.
Okay, let's pause on that. That is less than 2 months out of the entire year. That feels incredibly restrictive for a father who is reportedly very involved.
It is a very specific, somewhat rigid schedule. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, it debunks the idea that the daughters are just emotionally siding with their mom against their dad because of a girlfriend.
Yeah.
This isn't just a mood, it's a legal mandate.
Exactly. It's structural. They are with Nicole because the court documents say they live with Nicole.
And we have to analyze why that might be. It's likely not punitive. Think about Urban's lifestyle versus Kidman's. Nicole, despite her filming schedule, has clearly positioned herself as the anchor parent in this agreement. Keith is a touring musician.
Right, the High and Alive tour. You can't have teenagers on a tour bus for 9 months straight. They have school, they have lives.
Precisely. It's easy to spin a narrative of the girls hate dad, but the reality might just be dad is on tour and has visitation every other weekend when he's in town. It's a logistical reality, not necessarily an emotional war. The 59 days likely corresponds to his downtime.
It also explains why we see them on her social media so much. She physically has them 85% of the time.
And if you're Keith, maybe you agree to this because you know you can't provide the stability they need right now while you're promoting an album and touring the world. It might actually be a selfless act, admitting they are better off in one place, even if it looks bad on paper.
And speaking of logistics, the real estate moves back this up too. Nicole sold her apartment in Milson's Point in Sydney for $8.5 million. Sold it to a winemaker, apparently.
Which signals she is consolidating her assets, maybe moving to a more family-centric home base. She's nesting. Meanwhile, what is Keith doing?
He is renovating a studio space on Music Row in Nashville. Reports say he's either living there or setting up a bachelor pad.
Which further complicates the living with Karley rumor. If he's building out a studio space to live in, that screams workaholic. That does not look like a man who is cohabitating with a 26-year-old in a domestic bliss scenario. He's retreating into his cave.
That sounds like a man trying to find his footing, not a man who has already settled down.
It does. It sounds like transition. It sounds lonely.
If you're loving these Hollywood twists and the breakdown of the legal facts versus the fiction, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead, including some deep dives into the legal teams behind these massive splits.
Because this story doesn't end with the custody agreement.
No, it does not. So we have the rumors, and we have the legal split. But there's a history here. This isn't the first time Keith has been accused of replacing Nicole with a band member, and last time, he actually changed lyrics on stage to fuel the fire.
That's right. We have to look at the pattern.
But first, let's get to the climax of this current drama. The denial. January 18th, 2026. Karley Scott Collins finally speaks.
And she didn't issue a press release through a publicist. She didn't give an exclusive interview to Vanity Fair. She went straight to the people.
Instagram stories. The medium of the modern celebrity, she posted a screenshot of that specific moved-in headline and wrote, quote, "Y'all, this is absolutely ridiculous and untrue."
And she used a crying laughing emoji.
The crying laughing emoji. That is the ultimate shutdown.
It really is. It's dismissive. It's not angry. It's not defensive. It says, this is so absurd I can't even take it seriously. If she had written a long, heartfelt paragraph about respecting privacy, people might have read between the lines. They would have analyzed the font choice. But ridiculous with a laughing emoji, that punctures the balloon instantly.
It was a mic drop. But honestly, why was the rumor so believable to people in the first place? I think we have to contextualize this against the Maggie Bao incident. This has happened before.
Ah, yes. The Maggie Bao incident. This is essential context to understand why the fans were so ready to believe Keith had moved on.
For those who don't remember, Maggie Bao is a guitarist in Keith's band. She's 25.
So almost the exact same age as Karley.
Exactly. And during a concert, Keith was singing The Fighter. Now, you have to understand, The Fighter isn't just a song. It is a sacred text in the urban Kidman mythology.
It's the anthem of their marriage. It's the song about how they saved each other.
Right. And the original lyric is, "Baby, I'll be the fighter." But on stage, in the middle of a show, Keith changed it. He looked at Maggie Bao and sang to her, "Maggie, I'll be your guitar player."
Oh, wow. When you say it out loud,
Yeah.
that is visceral.
The crowd went nuts. The fans read everything into it. They thought he's erasing Nicole. He's declaring his love for Maggie. It felt like he was rewriting his vows in front of 20,000 people.
And Keith had to actually address this from the stage later.
He did. He had to scold the fans. He told them to, quote, "Stop reading Eck into it." He explained that he's been making improv changes to lyrics for years to highlight his band members.
See, that is the disconnect we keep coming back to. To a performer, acknowledging your guitarist during a solo is just stagecraft. It's being a generous band leader. Hey, look at Maggie, isn't she great? But to an audience watching a marriage crumble, it looks like a confession.
It's the irony of the musician's life. Your stage improv becomes your divorce deposition.
And it established a pattern. The media sees a young, blonde, female musician in Keith's orbit. They see a professional interaction, whether it's a lyric change or a FaceTime about a guitar solo, and they immediately map romance onto it.
It's almost like the rock star archetype trap. We assume the older rock star must be sleeping with the young protege. It's a cliche we can't let go of.
It is a very old script, and sadly, it overshadows the actual talent of the women involved. Karley Scott Collins is trying to promote her album Flight Risk, and instead, she's debunking roommate rumors. She wants people to talk about her songwriting, not who she's allegedly sleeping with.
Speaking of current status, where is everyone now? The dust is settling, the rumor is dead, or at least on life support.
Well, Nicole seems to be winning the PR war of moving on. She spent New Year's Eve in Sydney with the girls. She posted a photo with the caption, "Looking forward into 2026.
Very forward-looking, very I'm good.
Meanwhile, Keith is in Nashville working on a new album. And the rumors about this are interesting. People are saying it's going to be an uncomfortable retelling of the marriage unraveling.
Oh boy, the breakup album. We all knew it was coming.
But get this, Keith claims he's currently inspired by philosophical poetry rather than music. He says he's in a different headspace.
Philosophical poetry, that sounds heavy.
It sounds like a man processing a major life change. He's not living with a 26-year-old. He's reading philosophy and renovating a studio. It's a much more solitary image than the tabloids want to sell us. It sounds like he's trying to figure out who he is without Nicole.
It really is. So we have Nicole looking forward with the kids, Keith looking inward with his poetry, and Karley Scott Collins just trying to get people to listen to her record without assuming she's the homewrecker.
Stay tuned and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. Because if Keith releases a philosophical poetry breakup album, we are definitely going to need to do a deep dive on those lyrics.
Oh, absolutely. But before we go, I want to leave you with a thought.
This whole saga raises a really uncomfortable question about the music industry. We talked about the rock star archetype, But think about the mentorship aspect.
Right. Keith Urban is an icon. He should be mentoring young talent like Karley Scott Collins or Maggie Bow. That's how the industry survives.
But is it even possible? Is it possible for an established male icon to mentor a young female artist without the world assuming they're sleeping together? Or does that rock star label make these rumors inevitable? Are we, as the audience, part of the problem because we refuse to see a male-female professional relationship as just professional?
If we make it impossible for him to mentor without scandal, who loses? The young artist. That is a question worth mulling over. You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.